the summer of love.
What's up everybody, it's Rex Pro here, and today we are back for another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this time we are doing Qliphort's. This deck used to be a top tier, tier 1 sort of deck, and famously known for Qliphort, or famously known as Qliphort. They got hit by a Banlist a while back though, that pretty much crippled them to the point of no longer being a threat in the meta. However, recently, a new crazy ban list came out, known as the February 5th, 2018 ban list, that'll be effective as of today, that has unbanned or unhit some of the Qliphort cards. So today we'll be doing a deck profile, and they got some new support in Extreme Force as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it with 3 Ash Blossom, just because it's the only hand trap we run in the deck, because there's not a lot of room for that sort of thing, and just because it's, you know, a hand trap. We run 3 Monolith, the first Qliphort monster, and one of the 2 level 5 normal monsters. So all of the pendulum, Qliphort monsters have the effect that you cannot special summon monsters except Qli monsters. This effect cannot be negated. During the end phase, if you tribute summon this turn, you can draw a number of cards equal to the number of Qli monsters you tributed for a tribute summon. That makes this card extremely good, just because you're going to be tribute summoning a lot now that Sacrifice is back at 3 and Towers is unbanned, so now you'll have more reason to tribute summon, so you'll be able to draw more cards this way and get to some of your essentials. We also have 1 Scout, because Scout is at 1, otherwise we'd run it at 2. You cannot special summon monsters. Oh, right. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points to search out a Qli monster, a Qli card from your deck. So yeah, it searches out your entire deck except for a few things. There's only a few cards that it can't search out. I think a total of 13 or 14 cards that it can't search out in the deck. But it searches out the most of the deck, and that's why it's so good. The 800 life points is can get a little bit annoying, but it's definitely worth it. We have Towers, which can't be special summoned and requires 3 Qli tributes to normal summon or set it. If this card is normal summon or set, it is unaffected by basically everything. All special summon monsters lose 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can make your opponent send 1 monster from the hand or their side of the field to the graveyard, and they get to choose. So Towers is a notorious card in this deck, and for a good reason. It used to be banned. Now that we have Kaijus, it's a little bit less important, and even if it was at 3, I'd probably still only run it at 1. Next we have 2 Qliphort Stealth. Now all of these regular pendulum monsters in the Qliphort deck only have or have a different effect, and they all have the same one, but the addition is that all Qli monsters you control gain 300 attack, which is really nice. And they also all have, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal summoned without tributing or is special summon, its level becomes 4 and its original attack becomes 1800. And then it has an effect based on whenever it's normal summoned and set, plus it's unaffected by activated effects from any monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's current level. So yeah, its effect is that you can target 1 card on the field and return it to the hand. And they can't activate it. Your opponent can't activate anything in response. So yeah, you're basically just getting to return your cards. It's super good. You can run it 3 if you want, but I just preferred it 2. In my opinion, the best Qliphort monster disc His effect is that you can special summon 2 Qli monsters from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase. This is just phenomenal because even if they do get destroyed, they'll just go to your extra deck. But this is mainly for extending your link plays and going into Qliphort Genius. Personally, I don't think there's ever be any reason to run this at less than 3, just because having it at 3 makes it so that you have the potential to draw into it first turn, which is really nice. So yeah, also have 3 Qliphort Shell. You can run it at 2 if you want, but I like it at 3. Its effects that can make a second attack during each battle phase, and it inflicts piercing battle damage. So yeah, it's really good just because it can really help you push for game. So that's 2800 attack and 1000 defense. Alright, anyways, next up we have 3 of Qliphort Helix. It's basically just an MST, but it's really good in the upcoming format since pendulums are going to be taking over. It'd be nice with banished, but it's still pretty good. Plus it can just snipe out evenly matched or something like that. Then of course we have Qliphort Cephalopod. It heals you and then burns your opponent for the same amount of damage, and it's based off cards engraved, so it's pretty weird. But it really helps you regain lost life points because of Scout or your punishing cards, but either way, really good card. Then we have 1 Raigeki, just because it's Raigeki. 3 Sacrifice, you can equip it to a Qli monster and it gains 300 attack and can't be destroyed by battle. Also, it can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a Qli monster. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Qli monster from your deck to your hand. So it's more searching, it's more power, it just makes your deck better in every way. No need to not run it at 3. Laser Clip, it's like double summon, a permanent double summon for Qliphorts. Also, it makes it so that your normal summons can't be negated, which is really nice. We have 3 Terraforming to search out the field spell, and then 3 Summoner's Art to search out Monolith and Scout. 2 Pot of Desires because it's Desires, and we run 3 ofs of almost everything in this deck. And anything that we run 1 ofs, we either won't need because we would have already searched it out, or isn't important enough to the deck. And then for our traps, we have 2 Climate Change. Some people like to run it at 1, I like it at 2, and if I had room for it, I'd probably run it at 3. But you get to add up to 3 face-up Qli Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to your hand. And it's hard ones to return. But it's really nice in this format because, like with the new Master Rule, because adding those Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to your hand makes it so that you can go for a bigger Pendulum summon without having to worry about link markers, which is really cool. 1 Recreate, I think that's how you say it, Recreate. If a monster is normal or flip summon, if a level 4 or lower monster is normal or flip summoned, you can negate its effects until the end of the turn. And then if a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned, negate its effects. Also, if there's no other Qli card on the field, destroy this card. It is really good because negating your own Qliphort effects is really nice because then their attacks stats won't go down, so you'll have bigger beaters on board. Run it at 1 because it's not super important, but it is nice to have. Solemn Judgment because no matter how low your life points get, you can always negate something. Skill Drain, just because it sort of negates everything, which is nice. Alright, and then moving on to our extra deck, we have 3 Qliphort Genius, a new Link monster coming out of Extreme Force, 4 Qliphorts. Just requires 2 machine monsters, which is an odd choice considering that Qliphorts have never really been considered splashable, so it's interesting. So it's unaffected by spell or trap card effects and the activated effects of other Link monsters. You can target a face-up card on each player's field except for this card, and negate both of their effects until the end of the turn. When 2 monsters special summon at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can add a level 5 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand. So what's really funny is this basically makes it obvious that Disc is supposed to be the best because it says 2 or more. So Qliphort Disc always summons 2, which would be perfect for this. You could place disc in the middle of the, like in the bottom left area, or not in the bottom left, just the bottom area, and then to the left or right is where you special summon the monsters. We also run 2 Missus Radiant. Oh, but I guess before I go into that, anything after Genius really isn't that important to the extra deck. We only run it as a just in case sort of thing, but you'll probably not be going into it too much because you can't summon anything other than Qliphort from the extra deck, so they're there just to be there. But 2 Missus Radiant, everything in here is Earth. Heavy Metal Foes Electrum, Pendulums, Akashic, Trolliness, Decode Talker, High Attack, Trigate Wizard, Crazy Effects, Ningirsu, Removal, Firewall Dragon, Loopholes, Warlow Dragon, Control, Yugioh, Draw Power, Tubaguska for Control. Sorry for rushing through the extra deck, but like I said, there really is no... You're probably not going to be going into any of these cards that much because of the pendulum effects, but it still works out in your favor, and it does it's sort of beneficial to run these, but you definitely don't have to. Just stick to the 3 Genius. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, hope to see you next time, and as always, have a roaring good day.